Before we get into today's episode, I just want to remind you, hoodie season is coming and you can grab your Slightly Unfiltered hoodie and other merch over at slightlyunfiltered.com/shop. They make great holiday gifts too. Wink, wink. Today's guest is Carrie Abernathy. Carrie truly is a woman with drive. She's an award-winning meeting planner, leadership influencer, successful entrepreneur. She founded the Association for Women in Events, and when she's not planning meetings, she's an industry speaker and coach and has her own talk show. Most importantly, like everything on the show, she takes her martini dirty. Oh, and 2 olives, please. Enjoy the show. Hey friends, you're listening to another episode of Slightly Unfiltered. I'm your host, Desiree Wolf. I've got something to say, you've got something to say, so let's get talking. Carrie, thank you so much for coming on Slightly Unfiltered. I just love you. You are one of my favorite people that hopefully one day we actually get to hang out in person.
Right?
I just adore you. You have this amazing energy. You are just a badass chick. And we instantly had this kismet connection. You made a hilarious comment once that you totally get how people fall in love online. And I was just like, oh, I love this girl so much. And I've never met her yet. So thank you so much for spending some time with me and coming on Slightly Unfiltered.
Oh, thank you for having me. And you're too kind. Like, you know, I adore you. I'm so excited to be on this show. I've been a listener. I'm a fan. We are soulmates. Clearly, we fell in love immediately online. So I do get how that happens. But yeah, I'm just ready to chat it out with you and bring some authenticity to the table, which is really fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we need so much of that right now. I think people are just really struggling just mentally on who they are, what they're supposed to be doing. I've talked to several people in all kinds of professions that have either lost their job, they've been furloughed, they don't know what's happening next, and people are scared shitless. And I
Mm.
think people like you and I that bring out that authenticity, they're starting to see that, oh, I get to be myself now. So that's one of the things that I love about your whole brand, your blog, your personal lifestyle brand that you're sharing with us is you're bringing more of that to the table too. What was your inspiration to start sharing more of that?
I think I just got tired of the bullshit. I just got tired of everything. I got tired of myself, and I'm a recovering perfectionist, right? So, okay, I'm still a little bit of a perfectionist and a type A personality. So it's just like, you know, I was bringing that 24/7. COVID hit. I was still bringing it 24/7. I'm like the ultimate professional. And then I was like, okay, what's going to give? Like, is it my career or my personal life? Like, how do I combine these into one? And someone gave me great advice. They're like, you know, you have to be authentic and speak to like the person that you want to speak to. Like, you don't have to speak to everyone. You don't have to please everyone. You don't have to make everyone happy. You're not going to make everyone happy. Like, your brand needs to just be what you want it to be. And you need to speak through that voice. And I was like, whoa, for whatever reason, that was like my moment where I was like, whoa, I can just drop the bullshit. I don't have to be super professional and perfect Carrie and XYZ event planner of the year and da 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 whatever else. Like, I can just lean into this part of me, and whoever likes me, and whoever doesn't. And like, I'm getting really into that and leaning really into that this year. It's working out for me. You know, I've dropped some weight. Not physical weight. I'd like to drop some physical weight, but I've dropped some people that I needed to get rid of, that like fleshed themselves out of my life after I like made this change to be more authentic, and it feels good.
Isn't that amazing when you start to become more comfortable and you start to voice more about who you are, the people who stick around versus the people who exit themselves. They kind of
Right.
do the dirty work for us because we're now making them uncomfortable because we're no longer fitting into their box.
Right.
Yeah.
That's all I
It
did.
just, it's refreshing that it's almost like the trash will take
Trash takes
themselves
itself
out.
out. I always say. That's what I always say. Of course you would say that.
So disclaimer, you are an amazing event planner. You've won all kinds of awards and accolades. You easily could have taken your blog to how to be an event planner, how to be, how to run great events and all this kind of stuff, but you didn't. And I personally found that really refreshing. Coming from the event planning world, I never fit into the crowd. I was always that event. I didn't go to all the networking events. I didn't, hang out with all the other event planners. I kind of did my own thing. And I always felt kind of like the black sheep of the event planners of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting that you went in a different direction. You went the authenticity, and I really think you bring out a leadership sort of role. Um, why why was that important to you?
So, okay, so my blog, let's back up a little bit. My blog launched post COVID, right? So
Hmm.
this is totally new. This is within the last 6, 8 months ish. And before that, like I just couldn't figure out my voice. It's like I wanted to have a blog, I wanted to share because I felt like I had some shit to say, right? Um, but like it didn't feel authentic or right to do an event planning blog, another event planning blog. Like they exist. Like people don't want to sit and listen to me talk about how to plan events. Like I don't want to listen to me talk about how to plan events, quite frankly. So after like COVID hit, I was like, okay, I really want to launch this thing. I really want to talk to people. Everyone's struggling.
Yeah.
But I really want to talk about how we can like struggle together and struggle through and like struggle up and like elevate each other. And I want to deal with the shit that people aren't dealing with, which is, at first it was kind of like rah, rah, live events, everything's cool, everything's going to happen, everything's coming back. And then it was like, oh God, this is like legit and happening for real. And I wanted to like lean into that moment and be like, okay, you know what? We're stuck at home, we're parenting, we're caretaking, we're wearing 40,000 hats. Like, how do we say to each other, like, I'm about to have a mental breakdown or a nervous breakdown, and that's okay. And here's like what, like just hearing another voice like ourselves, like our own, is just so helpful right now. And not hearing like, here's how to get a better job during COVID, or here's how to keep yourself, valuable to your organization. Like, I just didn't feel like that's what we needed. So at first it was like, okay, yeah, I'll talk about event planning. Yeah, I'll talk about golf. And then it was like, no, I'm not going to have like a scheduled weekly blog. I just want to write from the heart every single time. It launches when it launches. If it launches at 5 p.m. on a Friday when you're not supposed to launch something, that's when it happens, because it's like all about leaning into being authentically me and unapologetically me and just sharing stuff. And it's been scary because I put a lot of, as you know, like real shit out there. Not always PC, not always popular. And it's been like really, I don't know, validating, freeing, like everything I needed it to be. It's been cathartic for me.
Isn't that awesome when we set out to do something that we think we're doing for others and it ends up being a huge personal growth
Yeah.
project for ourselves? That's exactly how this podcast started. I started Slightly Unfiltered under the same way. I'm going to post when I post. You'll hear it when you hear it. And if it's 2 weeks that go by, oh well, get over it.
Yep.
Because shit happens, life happens,
Right.
we got jobs, we got families, and I think it's important to peel that back. Especially in the online world, everybody's like, oh, but if you don't post at Wednesdays at 10 a.m., you're going to fail. And you and I are going to be like, screw that. You're going to fail under the stress.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Thank you. We can't bear the burden of all of this. Like I can't keep up 5 Instagram profiles and a LinkedIn, and I don't even TikTok. I can't even go there mentally. Like can't do it. I know I should be, but it's like, okay, how do I be happy and successful and like get away from some of the bullshit constructs that are in place for us as women, as professionals, as meeting planners, as personal branders, as people that want to share stuff. And it's just, obviously less about monetizing at this point and more about just sharing and just, I don't know, giving back a little bit. I guess it sounds
Yeah.
woo woo, right?
We're all allowed a little woo, especially
Little woo
right
woo
now.
these
I think
days,
we need it.
right?
You brought up something with all of it, trying to master everything. You recently wrote a blog post about perfection that I thought was so good because especially as women, we have this layer that we feel like we have to be great at all these things. And when one ball falls out of the air, it's, oh crap, we're a failure or we're a hot mess. It it was so nice to see that other women feel this way too. What's the story behind the whole perfectionist bullshit concept that you wrote about?
Yes, perfection is bullshit. I woke up one day and it was exactly that, right? Like I was leading a team at work and I was trying to pivot to virtual events and I was doing the Age of Conversation Summit that we were a part of, the project we were a part of together, and about a million other things. And I was just like I was just burnt out. And I'm like, damn, like I'm picking these things to fill my cup, to fill my soul, and they're burning me out. Like, what is it? And I was like, okay, you know what it is? It's the fact that I hold myself to a standard that I wouldn't even hold other people to. And you're right. Like if I drop one of the balls, like it's complete chaos and I'm going to lose it. So I was like, okay, you know what? Time to give myself a break. Let's put it out there and see who agrees with it. Maybe no one does. Maybe everyone's still trying to like be a perfectionist, but it got really great reception. And people were like, oh my God, thank you for just saying it. It's so badass to see it. First of all, like, thanks for saying, bullshit, not just like perfection is bad or you shouldn't do that. Like, cause that's how fed up I think we all are, right? With
Yeah.
COVID,
Yep.
with caretaking, with life, with shifting, with everything we have to do. And somehow, even though our employers and people are like, oh, let's give each other grace. And, oh, you have the headspace to do this. You really don't. Like we preach this whole like grace thing that we're not giving ourselves at all, and I was like, okay, I'm done. Like I have to find a way to give myself that grace that everybody says that they're willing to give me and that I need to give others and that I need to give myself, like just done. And it's got to start with my type A personality and my perfectionist issue. So start it there. We'll see where that journey goes. But yeah, you just have to like back off of yourself sometimes, right?
Yeah. Just recognizing it, I think, is important.
Yeah.
You have a great way of doing that. So one of the things I admire about you is you have this hustle. You will pour all in to get the job done and do a great job at it. But you also have what I consider to myself to be a one woo side. You know when it's time to take a step out, go into nature, pull a card from the universe, that kind of thing. I think that's so important. And I love that you're sharing that. So many people are out there, you got to hustle, you want to make great things happen. You got to be grinding, 13 hours a day at your computer and then go network and all this kind of stuff.
Right.
You remind us that you can relax a little. So number one, I want to say thank you for being a voice that you can balance two things. How is that being a type A personality? Because I am one as well. How do you remind yourself that it doesn't have to be all hustle?
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's experience. It's 15 plus years of burning out and figuring out, what is going to fill it back up and what's going to fill me back up. And I'm glad that you see that. I step away from Instagram for like, a week and it's black and everyone's like, did she go away? Like, what's going on? And I feel some guilt, right? Because I'm seeing the people that I respect and I feel their brands are rocking and they're posting every single day, multiple times a day. And they're saying things that I wish I would have said. And I feel like I'm missing opportunities. But it's like, okay, life goes on. Like, if tomorrow Instagram and the internet were to shut down, like what else do I have? And, I want to live this life and I want to go out like not being Instagram and I want to or TikTok. I keep talking about TikTok. I think I can't get into it, but
I try. I'll post over there every once in a while and I'm like, I don't think I'm getting it. This is not a choreographed dance. I don't know the bubbles. I'm pointing in the wrong direction.
It's so cool. Like, it's so cool to watch you do it. Cause I'm like, damn, she's such a badass. Like, I have no idea how to even turn on TikTok. I don't have an account. Like, what do they show you where the bubbles are? Like, I'm like,
no. Guide for this shit.
I know. You're so good at it though. It's so cute. And I love watching yours. I just know that if I get sucked down that rabbit hole, then I'm taking away more of me. like the
Yeah.
me that at the end of the day isn't a meeting planner. Like we talked about this. I went through this whole thing earlier this year where I was like, oh shit, if I'm not a meeting planner, who is Carrie Abernathy? And I had no
Yeah.
freaking clue. Like I didn't stop. I didn't think about it. I didn't care. Like it just wasn't a thing in my life and I didn't have time for it.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, okay, I am Carrie the aunt. Like let's lean into that and be like a kick-ass aunt. Like let's get out into nature. Like let's take a minute to smell the roses because, we're deep in a pile of shit right now with COVID.
Yeah.
And we have to like you've seen this before in my blog, like celebrate those little moments and those little victories and like hold on to that and not be swept up in this whole like professional thing because who knows where it's going to go.
It's so crazy. I at the top of the show, I was talking about how I've talked to all kinds of different people in different industries and what they're struggling with. And part of it could be because I'm surrounded by event planners and meeting planners and those are those are my people professionally. But I've noticed a huge sort of shift with so many event planners because we don't know the future of our industry. We don't know how long it's going to take. And so many people are asking, well, who am I outside of my profession? And one of the positives that I think has come out of this whole COVID bullshit is people are able to discover that a little bit more. They're finding other
Right.
things that they enjoy and things that they love to do. It's kind of refreshing to see the other side of people who I've known professionally as rock star planners, finding other things that they enjoy in life.
Yeah, I'm loving watching people strip it down, honestly. Like, I
Yes.
was so tired of logging onto Facebook, like just anyway, just tired of Facebook.
Yeah.
But logging on and seeing I am, rocking it at work. I'm doing, I love the victories like that.
Hmm.
But it was always like, this is my persona. This is who I have to be. I
Yeah.
have to be buttoned up and I live in this little box and my hair has to be this way and I have to do this. And I love seeing them in their PJs and a glass of wine
Hmm.
being like, fuck this shit. I barely made it through the day, but here I am. My kids aren't dead. I'm not dead. Things are good. Like, let's like rah, rah, rah. I'm loving it. Like, and I'm loving the
Yeah.
sharing. Like, and I'm loving I'm loving the like going a little bit woo woo again. Like people are leaning into helping one another more than ever. Maybe,
Hmm.
maybe they have more time. Maybe they don't, but I love seeing people post like, what can I do to help you? If you're missing a hot meal, here I am. I have like,
Yeah.
I don't have two pennies to rub together, but I'm willing to like review your resume and send it to someone I know. Like I just like I like to see that. It's
Yeah.
not all the construct of society we were in before was perfection, perfection, perfection. Be the best at this.
Yeah.
Join this webinar to learn how to be the best of X, Y, and Z. The top 10 tips, the top. And it's like, no, like let's just like feed into everything else that's so important that we just haven't cared about. So maybe that's one of the good things that's happened in the last 8 months, right?
We're starting to see the human side of people again.
Exactly. And it's getting a little more authentic. And
Yeah.
people are getting more comfortable with showing that.
Isn't that funny how people are so uncomfortable with their own authenticity? It's something that I struggled with too. I had a friend, the very first website I was building for my old coaching business. She was taking a look at it. She's a amazing talented web designer and she's looking at it and she's like, "Okay, this is great and all, but it's really fucking boring." She's like, "You do not have a boring personality. So you
No.
need to strip away the corporate talk and actually start talking to people." And I was like, "Oh, am I allowed to do that?"
Right. Right. This permission that we're all waiting for. Like, what is that? Is that a woman thing? Is that a meeting planner thing? Like, it's this permission that we've all been waiting to happen where it's like, okay, you can say bullshit and not get in trouble. You
Yeah.
can like show up in your pajamas and not wear any makeup and still be an amazing human and a rock star and a great meeting planner and whatever else.
Hmm.
Like, where did that happen? I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Completely
I
love
love
it.
it too. Yeah, I love that we're stripping down and getting naked. I
Yes.
absolutely love it. It's about time because especially in this industry, we've been so stuffy and where's your suit and put on your perfect
Yes.
lipstick and, show up pretty and now we're all coming down to my level and I love it.
I love it. Love it.
Awesome. Are you ready for some rapid fire questions?
Oh yeah, let's do it. I'm really bad at
Yay.
these, by the way. I like to think through things and I give like 40-minute responses instead of like the 10-second response I'm supposed to give. So I'm working really hard on this.
All right. Well, this will be some good practice.
Okay.
The first one's always the toughest one. This is the one that people usually struggle with the most. So we're just going to jump right into it. Who is someone you admire?
Oh, that's easy. Oprah.
Oh, I love it. Yes, we are.
Yeah,
on the
I
same
won't. I
plot.
won't dig into that. But Oprah, I admire you like crazy. I'm not just saying that because
Aw.
I'm on your podcast, but I think you're super authentic. Rachel Sheeran. I have a whole list, but yeah, let's go with those top three.
Aw, I just love you. What's one thing that really pisses you off?
People that can't respond to an email within like 4 hours. Okay, I'll give them 24. Still pisses me off. But if it's like 48 hours and I still haven't heard from you and I have to send that bitchy email where it's like, as per my last email, ... then like it's not happy Carrie. Like you know me, I work so like rapid fire and so quickly. Like I'm already way past it 48 hours down the line.
Oh yeah, we've moved on to the next thing. What's your favorite swear word?
Oh no. Oh gosh, I have so many. They're so good. Oh, God, I wish I would have thought about this beforehand. I used to have some great ones that I used. I'll go with, I love fuck. Let's just go with fuck.
Oh, it's my favorite.
It's just a classic, right? You can't screw it up.
You cannot. I say fuck so often I forget people actually get offended by it.
They do. But this is why I wanted to be on this podcast. Like, cause I have like swear Tourette's, like it just slips out. Can't help it. It's a part of my personality and it's so hard to rein it in. So I'm sure your listeners are totally okay with me saying this.
Yeah. They look for it. It's encouraged. If you could share one piece of advice with the women listening, what would you say?
That you belong at the table. There has always been a seat for you. There's always been room for you. That it's your turn to claim it. You just have to show up and claim it. There's no magic book. There's no guidebook. It's yours, and just own it and know it's yours.
Oh, fuck yeah. And complete this sentence. Being slightly unfiltered means?
Being unapologetically me.
Yeah.
Unapologetic.
Oh, that gives me goosebumps. I love it. I love it. Carrie, I could talk to you for days and days. I just feel like we have just an amazing connection. I love it so much. What is next for you and A Woman with Drive?
My goodness, there's so much. Well, I just recorded 3 podcast interviews that are coming up, and I just got asked to speak at this international conference for meeting planners. So I got to figure out what that's all about. I think it's at the end of next month. So yeah, I'm speaking a lot. I have in my full-time job, I have my first virtual event coming up.
Yay.
In 2 weeks. So I am peeing my pants a little, super excited, super scared that it's all, that Wi-Fi is going to work and all of that jazz because we're living in a virtual world. But,
right.
Me, I have like a million things, and then it's the holidays, and then it's 2021, and who knows what's going to happen in 2021. I can't wait.
Anything's on the table. I love it. Awesome. Carrie, thank you so much. I hope that you'll come back on the show and continue to share your badassery with all of us.
Yes, please. Let's catch up over some cocktails and Zoom soon.
Oh, I just love you. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Slightly Unfiltered. You can find me and all things Slightly Unfiltered at slightlyunfiltered.com or on Instagram. Be sure to go to Apple Podcasts to subscribe, rate, and review the show. Until next time, you badass bitches.